and Potions live feed sections 3 and 4. And I know some of you are done. This is one of those quilts where you start and you can't stop. Yeah, if this was the only project I was working on, then I think I would just be stitching it out like mad. But go ahead and we're gonna get started with 4-patch. So I want you to get hooped up in your 5x7. It doesn't have to be in your 5x7, but once you add your quilting design, it's gonna be 4.5 inches wide, so it's too big for your 4x4, and it's gonna be like, I forget, 5 and something this way. So go ahead and get hooped up. We've got 4 more minutes, and then we'll get stitching. And perfect, lunch break. That must mean, are you Central Time, Miss Danielle? Hello, Paula. Ooh, Paula's already on section 4. All right. I know. I wanted to stitch this week, but it was a busy week at the store. And like, Patrick gets up with the dogs, I'd say, most of the time. Like, I probably get up with the dogs like 2 days a week, and he gets up with the dogs the other 5 days. But I'm telling you, when I get up with the dogs, it destroys me. And that night, I can't do anything. I'm pathetic. So, I love Maine, Danielle. I haven't been there in so long. But I went to Boston College. So sometimes we would just jump in the car and go up to the outlet malls. That's like before there were outlet malls everywhere. So we would like go up there. And Maine's just so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and slide this onto my machine. So what we're doing right now, we're just waiting for everyone to get on. I think some people are just going to be here for a sit and sew, which I love. Some people are at work and they're listening in. And some people are stitching with me, and I'm keeping you on track because you're like me. You have 10 different projects going on. This is what we have so far, what you should have so far if you're just doing this so along with us. And this is section 1, and this is section 2. Oh my God, this morning I was looking everywhere. I was like, oh my God, I don't have happy haunting. And I thought that was the first block of today because I was looking at the spreadsheet and I was looking at section 2. I was like, Patrick, I can't be on the live feed. I have to cut the fabric. And then I realized I'd already done it. So, and then I was like, oh my God, I can't find the owl. This is like what happens to me every day. Okay. So, I went ahead and these are the ones I did. I love the potion bottles. I don't know about you guys, but like I love the little shakers that go in there. They're like so incredible. And so we do have a potion bottle today. You should have part A already done. This is, if you haven't done this yet, we'll talk about this before we get started. This is the first one that I did, which was take at your own risk. And it did say to cut as desired. So I cut it like right next to the stitch. And then when I was washing off my stabilizer, I was like, I'm so aggressive with everything. I was like, and then look, it just like ripped. So I played with the idea, should I like just zigzag it and not stitch it again? And then in the end, I went ahead and I restitched, and I did mine with purple. So this is going to be the one that I use today. And I don't know, like, I'm going to cut some of these threads that are hanging off. I think the black stands out on the orange more, but I did want to add a little pop of purple into my quilt. I'm not doing like the full-on purple blocks, but I'm just adding a little bit of purple. And I cut it a little further away. I wasn't as aggressive when I was rubbing it out. So if you haven't done these yet, don't be too aggressive. And I'll go ahead and I'll trim these threads a little more before we put those on. And, oh, I do have some water spots. So I'll try and clean that off too. I try to get it off, like all of it off. So it is 10 o'clock. let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining me. And I already hooped up. We're doing the 4 square blocks. There are 2 of them. One of the 4 square blocks I think goes into a different section. But since we're doing one, let's do them both and then we'll be in the mode. And you won't have to rethink and go, how do I do that again? Oh no, look, they're both in section 3. So let's start off with those. I'm going to come on over here to the machine. And I found this finally. I've been without. It was upstairs and I got it from my bedroom down to, we have like a split level. So I got it down. I think it was in the kitchen. And then I lost it. And then I found it again and I brought it down here and I lost it. So that's how I operate. I'm sorry if it drives you crazy. I wish my brain was more organized, but it's not. I already loaded it, but let's reload it again. I just wanted to check and make sure it was in the right hoop. And hang on, I'm going to move my computer so I can see your comments too, because we're out of view. Oop! There's my power cord. Oop! Hang on. Ooh, God. I pulled all the way back. Okay, sorry about that. When I moved my mic, I accidentally hit the sound button. So, am I back? Can you guys hear me? Somebody throw in a thumbs up or something, just to let me know you guys can hear. I think we're back. Okay, perfect. Ears, love it. Okay, I was just talking about those thread trays. Those come in a 2-pack. And they're thread organizers, and I absolutely love them. Alice gave those to me, and I was, I just love when you guys share like great products with me. And those are great for organizing your thread. The first one I showed you was what I'm using today for Pumpkins and Potions. The second one is what I'm using for Hello Sunshine. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So I was also mentioning that if you don't have the spreadsheet, sometimes I get emails saying, where can I find this spreadsheet? God, I would love to be able to put it somewhere on our website, but I don't know how to do that. So right now you can find them. There must be a way to do that, huh? You can find them on our A1 Sew Along group, and all the spreadsheets that I've ever done are there. I think there are some projects that I started doing this, I don't know, maybe like the past 2 years, maybe the past 3 years. So there are no spreadsheets. There aren't spreadsheets for every single project, but hopefully the project you're working on, you'll find it if you need it. So, and my spreadsheets have evolved too. So I've added more things and, you know, hopefully they've gotten better. So we're going to put in Halloween 10 4x4. Both, we're making two, and I'm going to do them one at a time. They both use the same design. So I'm going to go here to my pocket. We're going to load the background quilting first. We're going to piece on top of it. And there's a little template that'll go on top of it. I don't know if you saw my flying geese. Like I did, I don't even know if I loaded the second one. But what I realized is you don't need the whole template. You need that first block where you need to lay down. So we'll think about it. Maybe we'll do the first one with the whole template, and then the second one we'll go, what do we actually need? So Halloween 10. I'm PES, and it's the 4x4. So I'm going to go ahead and load that. Let's set it. And then we're going to add the 4x4 design. Don't move it yet. We're going to add. And let's add the 4 patch. Wait, no sound? You guys have sound now, right? PES 4 patch. Set. And don't move it. You want to center that to the quilting design. I'm going to go ahead and choose the hoop size. I'm using a 5x7. That way we know how far we can bump that design up. Let's go ahead and say okay. Now when I touch embroidery, it'll combine those two designs on our layout screen or your second edit screen, depending on what machine you have. And I'm going to go layout, move, and I'm going to scoot it up to the top. My hoop is on, so it won't go outside of my embroidery field. If your hoop is not on, it'll continue up. Let's go ahead and say okay. This button here is where we go forward and backward stitches. Go ahead and touch that. We're going to start off with this. Remember, turquoise is placement. Orange is tack down. Turquoise is placement. Orange is tack down. So right here you see we have a little bit of placement and tack down as well. That does not mean you're going to be using the turquoise and the orange colors. You can put whatever colors you want in there. And that green is usually going to be Kimberbell's quilting. So, and then you can put whatever color you want in there too. And that always helps. And I like that they're consistent with that. So let's go ahead and I have no thread in there right now. You know I love my mango smoothie. So I'm going to go ahead and do mango smoothie. And the other thing I'm going to start doing at this store is I'm going to start kitting the projects with thread without the plastic carrying case. It's so much cheaper, guys. So I don't know if you need that plastic carrying case and you like to, so I know some of you put your thread kits on the shelf and they look beautiful on those plastic carrying cases. But if you don't need that and all you need is the thread, I'm going to start kitting it that way. All right, grab your fabric. And this is a quilt last project. Your quilting last. Let's get our spray tent. Oh my God, mine is across the room. Hang on. Like literally so far away. I'm wearing overalls today, and this morning when I came downstairs, Patrick's like, "Oh, are you going to do pottery today?" And then what else did he ask me? Something else that was really obnoxious. I was like, "Yes, I'm going to do pottery, and you and I are going to reenact this scene with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze." So, and then he asked me something else obnoxious about my outfit. I have this one dress that I wear, and when I wear it, he asked me if I'm going to churn butter. What's wrong with that man? Okay, here we go. Wrong side. See the nubbier side with the little outies? That's what we're going to spray. We're not going to spray the other pieces right now because I have to think about if we really want to. I have to think about it. All right, I will show this once. This is my dime spray tent. This is where I spray, unless it's a huge piece, and then I get out my giant spray box. This is the spray that I use. It's Ganol KK100. I like the economy line just because it's half the price of the premium line, and to me it's the perfect stick. Hang on, I need to get this spray going. Okay, just a little. You don't need a lot. We're gonna go ahead and put this down, cover that square. Okay, we are skipping the next steps. I would love without the case. Yeah, let's do it without the case. From now on, I'll do it both. But I have a feeling you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, let's just do it without the case. It'll be so much cheaper. All right, and I'm going to do what I can. We don't carry the full line, so I'm gonna do what I can about getting the full line. I have to make sure I have room for it, and then I have to make sure Patrick gives me the okay. All right, so we're gonna skip the tack down because we cut our batting to size. We're gonna skip the background placement because we did not pre-piece it, and we're gonna skip the tack down for the placement. Here's our quilting stitch. We're going to do this last, and don't let me forget. This is going to be our template. And it says, load the embroidery file into the machine, stitch the template line directly onto the stabilizer. We're stitching it directly onto the batting because we're going to piece right on top of the batting. I haven't done this before. Just so you know, when I do this, this is the first time I'm doing it with you. So hopefully I'm doing it right. So we're going to stitch the template line directly on the stabilizer. Place one piece, one fabric, right side up, completely centered over both sections one. So it's going to go over this block and this block. That's really the only place we need to put it down. And part of me goes, oh, let's just center it down there. And let's just skip the placement line. This is what happens. When we're trying to do the template on the batting, your foot wants to get caught and drag that batting all over the place. So if we just have this line right here, we know where we need to place it. So I might just do part of that. Let's see where it's stitching. I'm going to hold it down, and you can hold this down, and that way you have more control. So if it starts to do something really crazy, you can control that. And I will be spraying these. So I'm going to hold it down and see where it's going to be stitching first. Is it going around? Here, let's take a peek. See how it's dragging my foot there? I don't want that. So I'm just going to let go, and I'm going to hit my cut button. And then I'm going to just be hitting my plus 10s. Because what I really want to stitch is, I just want to stitch like right down here. So I'm going to hit my plus 10s until I get there, and then I'll know where it is. Oh, so it went straight across. Now it's going to go down the other side. Ah, that's what we want. So this is stitch number 1694. I'm going to hold it down because I don't want it to scoop this back. We'll see how it's pushing it. Bad. Naughty. I'm just going to cut. That's all I need. Now I know where I need to place my fabric that needs to go over that. Okay? So we know it needs to go over here and over here. I'm not stitching anymore because I don't want it to drag around my batting. And I am going to spray my pieces. It looks like the first thing we're going to do is we are going to lay down this piece. These two pieces are the first ones, and then we'll do the other ones right here and right here. I'm going to spray the backs of these right now. We're going to put this one down. This one's going to go up and flip back, but I'm going to spray it now so I don't have to spray it in the hoop. All right, we figured it out. We'll go ahead and spray those two pieces. Don't get crazy. And I'm going to take that black piece and I'm going to cover this over here. And you have plenty. Make sure you have an equal amount above and below. You can flip this back. I have about 1/2 inch left and right, and we can just put that down. All right, I think that is fine. All right, now it says, don't forget, we didn't finish stitching out the whole template, so we want to fast forward to the next step. So we're gonna just go, this is still stitching out the template. Now we've got that line, which is probably gonna be a trim placement line. Okay, that's step number 2. It says stitch the trimming placement line, trim the fabric close to the trim line. So we're just gonna go ahead, slide this on, and I'm gonna go ahead and stitch this down. Color does not make a difference. Yeah, don't stitch out that whole template. You don't need it. It's just dragging everything around. It's gonna make your life difficult. This is just a single piece of fabric. I'm gonna get my double curved snips. Here we go. These should be enough. These are my, are these my havels? Those are not my havels. I want my havels, because I love those. They look like them. Here we go. These are shinier, so I'm going to use these. And it says to, you're going to just trim fabric close to the trim line. You're going to trim to the left of that line, and then we're going to place the other fabric down. So let me go ahead. No sound? Really? Do we not have sound again? Somebody let me know. Miss Lynn, I got your email and I sent it to Patrick. So I think what he asked me to do is I need to reach out. I'm going to reach out to Martelli and see if they can drop ship so we can get your other one to you. And then we're going to deal with insurance. So make sure that the tip of your scissors isn't cutting into your batting. And this is your trim line. Then it becomes your placement line. And then we sew our 1/4 inch seam allowance. Does that make sense? Here we go. Wait, let's pull it back so we can lay our other piece down. You're going to lay down, we just did this step right here. Place piece 2 fabric right side down with one long edge centered on the placement line. Oh, you know what? We got to cut these apart. We are not going to be doing that quilting. Did you hear me say, oh shoot? Because we have to cut this apart. So this really does, oh my God. Okay, remember how I said it's the first time I'm doing this? So we're not going to be quilting on top of this. So we do need to cut it apart, which means we don't want our batting underneath. And I'm really sorry. I think I have to rehoop because we're going to piece it, cut it, and then we are going to lay it down on top. 4.5. All right. I am really, really sorry about that. We are going to have a lesson in ripping out our stitches. I apologize. You should have enough of this, hopefully, for the other thing. And I'm just trying to think if I should just leave that in there with the batting. Because it's not that much, and then you don't have to rip it apart. And then the next one. Okay. Sorry. We're going to leave it. We're going to piece with it. It's going to add a little bit of loft. Don't worry about it. Next one we are going to do differently because we're going to have to cut this apart. You will need one more 4x4. I did mess that up. If you are tuning in and just watching it, you don't want the batting underneath there. We don't want that because we are going to have to cut these apart and then piece them. Let me look at it all. And it gives you like a little trim line. Then you trim 1/4 inch seam allowance that you're sewing. Honestly, I don't know if I would do it like this. I thought we were going to do the whole thing in the hoop somehow. I'm just going to go ahead and carry on with this one. Just know you're going to have a little bit of loft if you are stitching with me. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. You did it? Now I won't do it. Yes. Real life. You guys are always so sweet. we're gonna turn lemons into lemonade, and it's gonna be fine. Hopefully it's not gonna bother you too much that there is gonna be a little loft on part of it. It'll all turn out okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and stitch this I'm gonna hold it down up top here because it's gonna want to stick. I'm gonna flip it back. Stitch the seam. So we just stitched the seam. It said flip the fabric back, and it says flip the fabric right side up and press the seam. I'm gonna finger press, and when I finger press, I fingernail press. I'm gonna hold this back a little bit, and then use a mini iron or finger press along the seam. If you're using an iron, remove the hoop from the machine and press on an ironing board. Stitch the tack down trimming line guide and remove the block from the hoop. Okay, if I was doing this again, I would have just sewn it together and just done my 4 squares. This seems to me like more work than it is worth. But let's go ahead and we're going to do that outline stitching line. And that's kind of nice to have that stitch line. But I don't know. What do you guys think, and how did everyone else do it? I'm going to tickle my fabric, and it's a good time to get your stiletto out. Remove the block from the hoop and repeat for the remaining hoop using piece 3 fabric in place of the piece 2 fabric. I'm having a tough time with this one. Gloria said I did my 4 patch on my sewing machine, then put it back. I totally think that is the way to go. So it is up to you. I'm just going to take my next 2 pieces and I'm just going to piece them together. And then I'm going to press them and then trim them and then use them. So up to you. Let's go ahead. But we did do this one. My batting's in there, but it's not really thick. So don't worry about it. I am going to get my ironing station ready. Give me just a minute. I need to recover from this this mistake because I want it to be perfect for you and it's not, and that always makes me super sad. So then you put it back on. There's enough fabric to do that, Gloria, right? To like sew it together and trim it and then do it should be fine. All right. These are the live moments that I can't hide from you. Okay, don't put your batting in for that. If you're going to piece it like that on your sewing machine, no batting. I don't think you're being lazy. I really think this is more work. To do it this way just feels like more work to me. But I thought there was like some new fancy way of doing things that was going to be so amazing. And that's why I went, oh, piece it in the hoop. I think it should have been totally pieced in the hoop. You know what I mean? Like flip and fold, maybe all 4 directions. And then that would have been worth it. To flip and fold and piece it in the hoop. There we go. I'm going to use my little spinner. Okay, today's lesson is what not to do. That's how we're starting out today. I'm going to go ahead and press this from the back and then we'll trim it. What not to do with Jeannie Mulligan from A1 Vacuum and Sewing. And we'll just press it and then we'll trim it. Because It says, use a rotary cutter. Okay. Stitch, remove, repeat. Use a rotary cutter. Using a rotary cutter and ruler, cut along the trimming guidelines. Each strip should measure 2.5 by 4.5. And then take one section. We're going to sew it together. Yeah. We're doing a combination of techniques today. Try not to iron it too much because we want to keep these those lines pretty straight. And we'll use the ruler. You're always going to cut to your ruler in the end. And I happen to have a 4.5 by 4.5 that we'll use. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll do 2.5 by 4.5. I'll go from that center line. I'll try to keep my big noggin out of the way, but I do like to take an aerial view from above. I'm going to fussy cut it the best I can. I'm going to cut down this line first. I'll cut this just so. Don't cut right at that line. You might need a little bit of that. And then it's 2.5 by 4.5. My ruler is 4.5. And make sure you're reading it from the right side. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Rotating mats are so nice. This is that Sue Daily one that we have on special right now. A little itty bitty one is sometimes nice to have. Whoops, I missed one thread right over here. There you go. So this is 2.5 by 4.5 with some batting in it, which is going to make it a little bit loftier, but it'll be fine. I guess this gives you the experience of piecing it and piecing in the hoop, and then you can decide. And that's why we're really doing it. I did stitch out the batting first, sew the 4 patches on the machine, and place the batting and quilted. Hope that makes sense. I need my ladies. Yeah, we're going to add, we need a new blade here. I am going to add, when we go ahead and add the quilting, we are going to put it back in the hoop. We're going to piece it together. Then we will put the batting on, and then we will quilt it like a filler block. It's going to be like a filler block when we do it. Okay, we have these 2 pieces. That's done. I am going to, my PQ 1500 is set up. So I'm just going to go ahead, and with this one, I'm just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance on this one. So you're not going to see it because this doesn't stretch over there. I will be right back, and then we will press it, and we'll cut this one, and then sew them together. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just press this open. And you don't want to do that if you are going to be stitching in the ditch or something like that. But I'm going to press it open because I'm going to be putting it next to the bulkier piece of fabric that has the batting in it. Because I didn't want to rip it all out. We were just going to make it work. So let's go ahead and press this open. This is a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we're going to cut this apart and we're going to sew it with the other one. Oh my goodness. Can I tell you how excited I am? We're going to start a new series in the store, and it's going to be quilting tips and techniques. We have 2 of the most expert quilters in our area that are going to be doing it. And hang on, let me grab my other ruler. Where's my other one? And we were talking about it because we're putting together this like little series. We were talking about it and we were laughing so hard. So I need to go 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Line up one of your lines with the seam. 2 3/4 right here. Check twice, cut once. And we were laughing so hard because I do everything wrong. So and they're gonna come in. We're gonna talk about it on one of the live feeds. 2 3/4. Let me check one more time. And they were asking me to bring in like one of my blocks. And don't worry that this isn't going to fit right. We are going to put this on top, and it's going to be like the filler block, and it's going to be perfect. At least I hope. Did I just mess this up? I didn't, did I? Gloria, did I just mess this up? I'm hoping I did not. Because this will be... Okay, that's going to be 2 sides. We're not going to trim it down. We're going to have to trim down this side a little bit. Not wrong. Just different. Yes, just different. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and piece these 2 together. You want to match up that seam. You don't want your eye to go to that and have it be off. Okay, so just make sure that is what's going to match. If you want, I do not often pin because pins to me are finger seeking, penetrating, painful things. I just always poke myself. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these 2. I'm going to match them up and I'll clip them so they shouldn't budge. But just fold it back, peek at it, make sure it's matched up. Put a little clip on the right side and the left side of that seam. If you want to pin, you can pin. I love that, Cheryl, that it's not wrong, just different. Leslie, there was a little incident this morning, so just know that you don't want to put your batting in if you're going to be doing the block in the hoop. I'm going to do this side and this side because that is better. But yes, they look different because yes, they are different. I pieced one in the hoop and I pieced one on my sewing machine. Yes, and I accidentally put batting on one side. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong so far. And today, oh, you know what? I can't do it that way. I have to have the batting in. Right? Because that's the outside of it. And we want that. Okay, let's switch. Batting inside. Okay, there. Batting should be inside. If you're doing this with me and messed up like I did, batting should be towards the inside. Again, let's match it up. Fold it back again. Just make sure you don't want your eye to go there. I piece at 1.8 for my stitch length. You don't want to be piecing at, that was another thing we were talking about when we were talking about all this quilting stuff. Oh my God, I was getting so excited. There we go. Some of you are experts and some of you are self-taught like me, and you need a quilting coach. And that's what our series is going to kind of be all about. We're going to give you a quilting coach. All right. I'm going to piece this on my sewing machine, 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm doing it on my PQ 1500, which is outside of my it makes life fun. Oh my God, Gloria. I love you. Okay, I will be right back. I'm going to piece this and then we're going to press it and then we're going to quilt it. I'm just over here piecing. I actually might be at a 2. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. I want it to look gorge. We will make some changes to the spreadsheet. That looks beautiful. Okay. Doing this side next. All right. So here we go. And it does look different because I did this in the hoop and I did this on my machine. So let's go ahead and I'm going to press those seams open so they're not quite as bulky. See, it's going to be bulky on the side with, but you know what? You're the boss. You can make everything work, right? And it's fabric, and fabric is pliable. And on top of it, to get it to lay even flatter, we can clapper it. Yes, sirree. So I have my best press in here. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray. And then we can trim these down. And actually, I think I'm going to trim it down after I quilt. And that way it can be more perfect. And that'll get that batting and everything to lay so nice and flat. Okay, let's do the other one. Yeah, because sometimes we make mistakes. That's the reality. And then we figure out, okay, are we going to start from the beginning or can we fudge it? And today I'm fudging it in every way possible. I gotta put, how do I start? I gotta start at the video like, we're gonna lay this down, clapper it. What the clapper does, it locks in the heat in between your mat and your wooden block, and it sets that seam and everything lays nice and flat. When you put it back to quilt, only put a piece of batting the side. Oh, yeah. I could do that, but you know what? I'm going to put a piece on the whole thing. If it's a little, like this is still so thin, so if it's a little bit fluffy, I just want to make sure it catches everything. And I'm just using Hobbs 80/20, so it is not that thick. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the whole thing. But especially because I just pressed it and now it's laying kind of nice and flat. So now that we have those, we are ready to quilt these like we would quilt them as filler blocks. And honestly, I feel like I'll go back to the instructions and I'll just have people piece those like a regular four square. Let me hoop up. I'm going to hoop up twice because I'm going to do this 2 times. Sorry, jumping the gun. It's just going to be a little thick there and it's not even really that thick. But I think it'll be easier for me to just lay down one piece. I don't think, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to feel my quilt and be like, oh, Jeannie, excuse me, but it feels a little thicker on one side. Who would do that? So, you know, I was throwing my magnets down lately. I've been placing and dragging up. And I think that maybe that's a little more accurate. I like to put my fingers here just to hold it down nice and taut. Let's place these. Okay, learning experience. Yeah, I'm going to put something on this spreadsheet. Sometimes they don't. I think, put something about traditionally piecing that. Whoops! Did you see that? I didn't put my clips on and the whole thing unrolled. My 90 inches. Here we go. Sorry, I'm just rolling it back up. And I like to just clip these. I have bigger jumbo clips. Let's put it on the machine. We are just doing the, and I'm going to have to get one more 4x4. Sorry, I know the travel over to my machine is might make you a little dizzy. All right, let's do it. So we are going to go ahead and say okay, and we're just doing the quilting. So I'm going to say okay to get out of that screen. I just want to go to the previous screen to dump the 4-patch template and stuff. So I'm going to go return, will take me to the previous screen. And then we're going to delete, but I want to make sure I'm deleting the right thing. So I'm not going to touch it because one's right underneath the other. Okay, so that's going to be the quilting stitch, I think. And that's going to be the template. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete. If I delete the wrong thing, I can undo it too. So delete. Yep, there's my quilting stitch. That's what I want to have. So I'm going to go embroidery. I can snug them up even a little bit further. I'm going to go layout, move, and snug them up even more. We are going to do the, we're going to skip the batting placement. We're going to go straight here to, like, if you do filler blocks, then what you do with filler blocks is usually just step 3 and the quilting. So let's go here to where we go forwards and backwards stitches. This is your batting tack down. We're going to do that for the background placement. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start. I'm going to spray my batting. I'm going to spray the right side of my batting. Is this the wrong side or the right side? I'm going to spray the right side of my batting, and I'm going to center it to my block. Okay, we're back on track, hopefully. Okay, I'm going to center it to the... So it's centered. I don't know why I have a little bubble right there, but it's okay. You should have the wrong side facing you. Wrong side of this, wrong side of this. And now I'm going to spray the whole thing, and we're going to place it down. And if you want, you could do a placement stitch for your batting, but this is a way of skipping more steps. Okay, sometimes this, I will spray a little heavier on the edges. And we are going to center. Like, you don't have to. That top and bottom. And then we're over because we're going to be trimming that edge. Okay. But this one was already cut to size. So you want to make sure that snugs right in the background placement. This was bigger. So the filler block, like if you go ahead and piece it and then put it in, you're going to have a fabric all the way around that's a little bit bigger. I think this is a much better way to just regular piece that together on the sewing machine. You're going to have more fabric all the way around. I think it's just going to be easier, less hooping, faster too. Okay? Okay. If you're just joining us, this was piece in the hoop, semi, and then this was on the sewing machine and then put together. So anyhow, you get a little bit of everything. Now what we're going to do is we're skipping the tack down. You could do the tack down if you want to do the tack down and this is pieced together on the sewing machine and bigger, then it would make sense. This is just going to go right around the outside. We have both worlds, and I don't want my foot to get caught, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go straight to the quilting stitch, and let's see what color we have in our spreadsheet. Sorry, hang on. Tighten that up so it's not falling down. There we go. This is called Making It Work. Today's episode, Pumpkins and Potions, Making It Work. So they have black. If you want to use black, you can. We could use mango smoothie. Maybe I'll use mango smoothie in one and then black in the other. I want to see. We have one here, one here. I just love mango smoothie. I'm going to use mango smoothie. Okay, watch that foot. Make sure it doesn't want to go under that edge. It might be a good time to get your stiletto out or whatever, your chopstick, whatever you want to use, just so you can make sure that that fabric doesn't get pushed around. Where is my stiletto? Here it is. Here's mine. And that you're not risking your finger, right? There we go. And I'm a little poofy over here, but that's okay. It's been an adventure so far. And I kind of love that mango smoothie. I'll put in here that I used mango smoothie instead. Let me add to my spreadsheet. And I'll add some notes. Used mango smoothie, and I'll send an email warning the group about what happened. All right, I'm gonna rehoop. Not bad. Gloria, you are so sweet. I want to sew with you all the time. All right, we're going to do the next one. I'm going to just pop up my fabric and I'm going to fluff it. We're going to make sure we fluff so I don't have another embarrassing moment. You guys are really sweet, but I think I got to do some kind of disclaimer because I don't want somebody to watch it, be stitching with me, and then have that happen. So luckily, Mr. Kai Mulligan is home, and he's so great at editing, so I'll have him put in some kind of disclaimer. Oh, I don't know if we can do that to live feeds. Maybe I'll do a separate video, like doing the block. Okay, here we go again. I'm going to pop this on. The other thing you could do is you could stitch step 1 and 3 if you want. And lay down your, but don't lay it all down at once. Let's do that this time. So I'm going to go ahead and say, we're back at step 1. So I'll go ahead and stitch this. That's going to be your batting placement line. Oh, I've got to find a piece of 4x4. Let me do that too. I happen to have a huge stack of pre-cut batting in Kimberbell kind of sizes because I pre-cut it for all the... Don't lay your batting down yet. Go ahead and skip to step 3. That's going to be placement for the background. Go ahead and stitch that out. And then we'll put the batting down and then we'll put the background fabric down. So you can do it that way too. Look at this one's not quite perfect. I moved. And do I want to repiece it? I'm not going to. It's going to be okay. That is, it's probably about 1/8 of an inch that I'm off. Okay, so I sprayed this. I'm going to place it down in the middle. It's like your tolerance. What's your tolerance for perfection? Okay, and I sprayed this too, and I think I want this way to be. So this side is going to get laid right down in there because that's already cut to size, and the other side has more room. So that's going to go over the edge. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, look at your screen. Is it what you want? That's the tack down. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to fast forward. There's my quilting stitch. That is a stitch I'm going to do. What I learned from the last one is this is the spot where it wants to drag. So I'm going to go ahead and let that stitch it down. I'm going to make sure I hold this corner down really well. Whoop! You drag there too, huh? Don't get your finger in the way. And don't worry, we're going to press that out. Everything will look beautiful. So another advantage, I think, to you just piecing it with the sewing machine is having the extra fabric. And if you do have all that extra fabric, I say go ahead and do that stitch that tacks the whole thing down. But look at the quilting stitch, made it look like absolutely beautiful. Okay, onward and upward, and when you go ahead and trim this, it's going to be 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches that you're going to fussy cut this to. Press it out really well. That'll make everything really perfect. And then make sure you put your ruler down on those center lines as best as you can. And I'll press those out. I'll do a whole video where we press all of that stuff out. Next, okay, we made it through that. We survived. So we are going to go ahead and do take at your own risk. 5x7 or 7x12. If it fits in the 5x7, I'm going to do it in the 5x7. Let's go ahead and grab our fabric for that. Let me put this away. We can trim out some blocks while we're waiting for stuff too. Could have done that with the glow in the dark, huh? All right. If it fits in the 5x7, I'm going to use the 5x7. Let me go ahead and rehoop. Lynn, you're so sweet too. Lynn says sometimes plan B is just as good. All right, scissors. I'm going to cut these apart so there's less chance of something flipping under. And I can see the center from this. Don't cut too close to one or the other because that extra fabric might make a difference. You might need that. Let's go ahead and tuck that up. Whoops. Here we go. This is just an end piece, so I know it's like kind of crooked looking. Don't worry about it. Let me clip this before it unrolls on me again. Okay, I'm going to pop this onto my machine. And let's grab our next block. It is take at your own risk. Let me find that. Oh, I think that's is that going to be our next potion bottle? So that's potion bottle 2. Where did I put my, here it is. I'm going to trim this just a little bit. I do have some ickies. Those are for me rubbing it. And let's go ahead. I mean, this is the original. This is the orange. But I'm going to do the purple. Just to give myself a little pop of color. Because Dana inspired me. And let's go ahead and grab that. And we are done with this one. Let's turn to our page. We did all of these the very first day. You might be stitching them like as we go. But I like to do all parts A filler blocks and all parts A in the very beginning. And page is 44. And this is part B. So let's go ahead, grab all this stuff. Oh, and you know what? Part of me goes, if I have this in purple, I want to do my lid in purple. So I might cut another piece of fabric here that's going to be that purple. Let me grab that. I'm just going to need a little itty bitty piece. Here's my big old piece of fabric. I'll just put it right here and cut it as we're stitching. And let's go to the machine, and maybe I'll need some purple thread. So I'm going to put this over here. Oh, I do have lavender. Lavender glow in the dark. Might be using that. Let's go ahead and say okay. And load up the design. Take at your own risk. I'm going to go home button to clear the screen. Let's go embroidery, Halloween 11. So I have a folder called Pumpkins and Potions. I'm going to put my background quilting in first. And here's Halloween 11, embroidery files, and I'm PES. I'm going to go ahead and choose the 4x6 vertical. Horizontal, they load first, and then vertical. So grab your vertical one, set it. We're going to add, and we're adding the take at your own risk block. And what you're kind of looking at, or what I look at, is the shape of the bottle. So let's see what the bottle looks like. We're looking for the bottle that looks like this, with that rounded top. So PES. Let's wait for those to, so it's going to be this one. Let's just make sure. Yeah, these two have square tops. It's this one right here. Go ahead and set it, and it says that it is centered, and that information is already on your spreadsheet. After quilting, go to part B, embroidery instructions. So we already have our 5x7 hoops selected. That's the outline. Let's touch embroidery to combine. Layout. Move. My hoop is on. I'm going to scoot it up just the tiniest bit. We're going to say okay. We're going to go to this button here where we go forward and backward stitches. And there is our placement stitch for our background fabric. I'm sorry, for our batting. I already have Mango Smoothie in there. I'm just going to go ahead and stitch it out. Color doesn't make a difference. Your background fabric is going to be this polka dot. Grab that. We're going to give that a shot of spray. And here's our batting. We give my batting and my background fabric a little shot of spray. How are we doing? Yes, purple. Yeah, I just, you know, I really like all the fabrics that came with it. I was like, but I love that Dana had put that purple in, and I was like, I'm going to put a little pop of purple. I did stitch out some blocks that were all the purple background, and they're part of my my back now. My back's not done yet, but I can show you the parts that I did get done. So when I'm piecing that, I piece, lay it out, piece laid out and I put it on my floor, and like my dogs were just like all over it. And I can't, I'm a sucker. I'm the sucker in the family. I can't say no to them. So when they're at the door and they're like crying and they want to come in, Mama can't say no. Mama says yes. And then they come in, and of course, whatever I have on the floor, they have to lay right in the middle of for some reason. All right. We are going to do the tack down for the background. So this is tack down for the batting to trim. Don't need that. Placement for the background. Tack down for the background. It's going to be your second orange. Make sure you have a contrasting color. Don't do it in white because you want to be able to fussy cut that line. And if you hear something that you think might be a monster, it's not. That is my stomach, because my stomach is so hungry because I didn't get to eat my bagel. Poppy ate my bagel. I turned around for a second, and the next thing I know, she's got the bagel. I'm chasing her, and by the time I got her at the other end of the house, and don't worry about this. I had it kind of folded up. The whole bagel was in it. Like, she must have been chewing while she was running. Okay, quilting stitch. It's white. I'm going to go ahead and just do the white. So because I was going to grab it, I thought she just had like a little bite, but the whole thing was in her mouth. Like, it was like a cartoon. And then I didn't have time to make another bagel. Oh my God. Stinker. Yeah, pretty much gulp. All right. Hey, Lynn, I think you had asked if the thread should be below the foot, and it's not. Not when we're just doing regular embroidery. You want the thread underneath the foot when we are quilting. When we're doing, like when we're pulling up the bobbin thread to the upper side. Otherwise, don't worry about it. It'll just be above the foot. Cute little goose. 2 minutes of stitching. The little shakers that you're going to need for this. Those are going to be the black and orange shakers, so get those from your kit. So you have to thread it through the circle. No, don't thread it through the circle if you're just doing embroidery and it gets bedded down to the back. But if you are bringing up the bobbin thread like we do in, like with Stitch Delight, if you're bringing up the bobbin thread so you don't get a little rat's nest, then you want it down through the hole and grab it underneath. But we're not doing that right now. We don't care if there's a little rat's nest on the back. I'm sorry, not a rat's nest, a bird's nest. We don't care if there's a bird's nest because this is just going to get sandwiched. Oh, Margaret, I'm glad you missed the beginning. There was a little whoopsie. I'm going to have to send out a little note. Okay, did I show you? These are the little shakers that are going to go in there. Look at those little ghosts. Are those just like the cutest ever? Okay. Now it wants you to put the, I'm trying to think of what color is going to make a difference. I only did, when I did the potion bottle, because I did the first potion bottle twice. One of them is going into my backing. And the second time, I did not do all of the placement lines, because you have to rip those out, which is no problem if you're using the rip and grip. But I wouldn't do all of those, because I think it's kind of like a pain in the butt. I'm going to go ahead and put in shadow. That's the color that it calls for. So it says load. We did our quilting right here. Now it says load the part B, which we already have in there. Stitch the glass vinyl with label placement lines. These stitches will be removed later. I'm looking at it and it's just doing the placement lines. Let's just do them all right now. And then you can see what I mean. Like, do you really have to do all of them? I say maybe do 2 of them. Do the top 2. Because these are going to come out. And it's that little locking stitch that's always so hard to get at. I'm just going to do the top 2. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm not even going to let that lock. I'm just going to cut it. Okay, grab your vinyl and just make sure you place it so it's in those placement lines. You know what? Let me do one more in case I didn't cut it right. Whoops. Let's make sure I cut my vinyl right. Okay, get your tape. I'm using transport tape. To me, it's the best tape in the world. And you're just putting the edges of your vinyl right in those placement lines. Mine don't fit in perfectly, but they look pretty good. I want this bottom one to be in there too. Vinyl looks nice and straight. I'm going to put one at the top. And I'm going to put one right down here on the side. Okay. Tape it down. And then it says, we just did this. We just did our tape. Stitch placement lines. These stitches will be removed. Check the back of the vinyl. Ooh, check the back. I already did mine. So you should have all of those icky stitches. You don't want any little threads poking out. So make sure you trim those up. I did mine beforehand. So I trimmed all those icky threads. Like here you go. Right here. So look at this one. That one might show. So you just want to get your little snippy snips and just go ahead and like trim all those. Doesn't have to be perfect, but anything that might be coming over the edge, like I see one right there. I want that one gone too. Where's he coming from? Look at that guy. Get him out of there. Anything coming to the edge. You don't have to, like, if it's just sticking up here, who cares? But anything that you're going to see. Oh, look at my spider. My spider has a whole bunch. So make sure these are all trimmed up. You might need your tweezers. I'm not going to make you watch that. But I already did mine on this one, so I don't have to do it right now. Trim those up. Check the back of the vinyl for threads that may show through before placing. Place the glass vinyl with label made in part A right side up inside the placement line. Tape all sides of the vinyl. Stitch the glass vinyl with label tack down line 1. Color does make a difference. This is shadow, so that's what I have in. That's your charcoal dark gray. And then remove the tape. So we're going to do the tack down right now. Oh, God. All right, let's tape it down on all sides. Don't be lazy, Jeannie. This is me being lazy. There we go. I didn't stitch all of these, so I'm going to fast forward. And that's what you should be stitching. That's going to be the tack down. So if you skip some of those tack downs, make sure you fast forward. And here we go. thinking at this point, I just need to always have my stiletto in hand, ready to go, jumping into action just in case. Looks so cute. I can't even put it into action because I don't know where I put it. All right, so we just did this step right here. And now it says remove the tape. So remove the tape, and we're going to insert as much confetti as desired into the opening between the label, vinyl, and the background. Be sure that all the confetti is at least ½ an inch below the top of the tack down line. So there's your tack down line. You want all your confetti to go at least ½ an inch below. So right about there. These are kind of big pieces. I had a tough time getting it to go all below with my, with the little bubbles, because it like kind of stuck. So I just made sure it wasn't in the stitch line, and that worked out fine. So let's go ahead and remove our tape. How are we doing? I haven't been looking at messages. I see some comments about the whoopsie. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll send a note out about the whoopsie. And I hope that people, like, I'll put something in the description as well. Maybe I can edit it out. I don't know if I can do that. All right, what I did, which I thought was easier, is I did it like, you know how you make deviled eggs and you put it in like a plastic bag and just cut the corner? That's what I did. So I'm just going to cut a corner, and then I'm just going to dump it out of that corner. And for me, I did like half of it, but this is like a big one, so maybe we'll do more. And the other thing I did was I took something and I put it in here so it would open it up more, so these would fall down. There we go. Otherwise they didn't go down. Let's see what we have. Make sure your pen is not open if you're doing this. I'm going to put them all in. All of them. We're going to go big or go home. They're so cute. Okay. Shake them down. Mine are all the way down there right now. And then we can kind of move it around afterwards. So you don't want your needle to hit that. So just take a peek in there. Make sure they're all the way down. Mine are. And then we can spread them around as we see fit. So that was insert as much confetti. We did that. Use a wood stylus to place the confetti. Stitch the glass vinyl with tack down line 2, and this is step 3, so this is the picture, so it's going to do that, and trim the vinyl as desired. This is raw edge applique, will not have an additional cover. So I'm going to slide this on, and I'm going to go ahead and let it stitch the rest, which is going to be the top part. And if you see a little ghost that's underneath that stitch path, you want to stop, because that'll probably bust your needle. I love shadow too, Linda. Shadow's like such a great color. Okay, trim as desired to me means get your curved straight scissors. So let's get those. And that's going to help you do straighter lines when you're trimming. And I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch away. And since there's going to be some twisting and turning, I'll go ahead and I'm just going to put this on my lap. I'm just sitting on my little ottoman, cross-legged, Indian style. Is that what they used to call it? Okay, here we go. If you want, you could trim it straight across on the top because the cap's going to go there, or not. I can't remember if it goes straight across or if there's a little bit of room, but I'm going to cut it a little bit closer just on the very top. Crisscross applesauce. That's what they say now. Whoops. Sorry if you weren't able to see that. These to me are a have to have scissor in your collection. Because sometimes you don't want that little curve on the end. All right. And if you want, we'll have to do that later. I'll shake those around. Here we go. Sorry. You don't need to see my crisscross applesauce. And if you look, next thing it wants to do, we just went ahead and trimmed right here. We are going to stitch the bottle cap placement line. We're still using shadow, and then we'll place the bottle cap fabric right side up. I have my purple fabric right here. I'm just going to cut off a tiny little piece. He's pretty itty bitty. I'm going to give this a little shot of spray. That's the kind of girl I am. Little shot of spray, please. Make sure you cover the whole thing. You're going to trim this close to the stitch, and then there's going to be a decorative outline. And for the tack down, it does want tack down. We're still using shadow, and then we're going to trim close to the tack down, close to the stitch, and then with the shadow, then we're going to do the cap decorative outline, and the decorative outline is going to look like this. How's everyone doing? Bye, Miss CJ. Glad you could join us for a little bit. If you want to, you could put in a matching bobbin just in case, just to make sure that we're not going to see any, and I'm going to do that. Oh my God, is this one so cute? I just love it. I love it. I'm going to put black in, just so I don't see any pin dots of white on the cap. Oh, look, navy. That was from the lantern pants that I made. That's going to be in the next class I do, Serger. Here we go. All right. Now it's going to do the decorative stitching. Awesome, Miss Gretchen. I like to hear that. I like to hear that you're being productive. Doesn't it feel so good? Like this weekend, I was so productive. And it feels so good because I have a lot of weekends where I'm like, I didn't get anything done. What's wrong with me? I hate those weekends. I wish I could bring my luminaire to Vegas with me. You know what would be perfect? If I had buckets of money. Oh, don't know what happened there. If I had buckets of money, then I would bring my luminaire and then I would stitch by the pool. Because, like, what a waste of time it is just sitting at the pool. I'm not a sit at the pool kind of person. I'm gonna be, so you know what I'll bring? Sometimes I'll bring some handwork with me. I have these granny squares that I started a long time ago. I'll have to find those and bring those with me. And I can do those by the pool. Okay. And I think that's it, right? We're not going to stitch out the last thing. It says for stitch number 7, which I don't understand why they just don't remove these. This line is for design placement. We're going to go ahead. It says don't stitch that out. Remove the glass vinyl with label placement line. Remove the block from the hoop with placement lines from part B, machine step 1. So we are not stitching that out. And we can go ahead and take this out. And I think it would be good if you could kind of hit those. Maybe what we'll do is we'll kind of pinch it and that will move them around. Let's do that over here. Yeah, in a cabana. I don't know if we're going to be splurging for a cabana. But yeah, getting a cabana and just like doing a little handwork, relaxing, having a little drink, people watching. You know Vegas has the best people watching, I think, in the world. Well, I can't say that because I haven't been everywhere. I say Vegas has some of the best people watching, maybe not the best, some of the best people watching in the world. I would stand behind that. My Luminaire 3 won't accept the 5x7 for this block. Change to the 7x12. Still says I need to change the size. The machine consistently has been telling me I need to change frame even when I am in the middle. Okay. So Leslie, I think you might have so if anyone ever gets that, because if you're doing it just the way I'm doing it and you're putting up the outline of the hoop, hang on, let me fix this so I can show you. You could have something broken in your embroidery arm right in here. So there are little plastic, they're kind of like teeth. And if that one of those breaks, then it can tell you that you don't have the right size hoop on. The other thing is if the hoop is lifting up at all, if you lift up on it or it's bulky or something's pushing it up, that can throw off your sensors too. So it could be one of those, just guessing. You can always call Patrick and see what he says too. He's like, he's like Car Talk. I want these everywhere. I want them all the way into the edges. Ooh, like that. And I want them all the way into the edges on this side too. Because they're so cute. I don't want them to be hidden. There we go. Adorable. Just like that. Be careful when you trim. Yeah, Leslie, I'm thinking maybe something in the arm. Are you staying on the strip? Oh, yes. We are staying at the Wynn. So we stayed at the Wynn because the concert's at the Sphere. And I heard like the Venetian or the Wynn, then you don't have to deal with driving and traffic. You can just walk straight across. And we don't take a lot of vacations. So when we do take them, I want to be comfortable and I want it to be easy. Got machine in April, not a lot of stitching. I think that probably, I don't know if it's like a warranty thing. You call Patrick. Call Patrick and see what he says. And then he can let you know if that's going to be a warranty thing as well, if that's something that your dealer can just take care of for you. Yeah, give him a quick call. He's at the store right now. All right. Yes, you don't want to be dealing with that, but pushing up on it can damage it, or really pushing hard forward and back. Sometimes stuff is defective. Like there are things that sometimes are defective. Okay, what are we on next? We are on 31. And we're going to go to the 7x12 or the 8x12 hoop. So let me go ahead and I will put this to the side. And let me grab my 7x12. Last time I was using that was on my mini quilts, which I still haven't gotten. I wanted to finish that up last night and then instead we made dinner, and so we didn't have eggs, and we were making like a traditional Korean dish that you have to have eggs for. So Kai and I decide, we go to the supermarket. Kai's gonna go, and I go, Kai, Mommy will go with you. And we went to we were at Raley's. I don't know if you guys have Raley's, but we went to go get peaches, and the peaches were like $4 a pound, but they were on sale for $1.97 if you had clipped your coupon. Like, it's electronic clip coupons linked to your account. So I wanted to save my $2, but we couldn't figure out the code, and then it was linked to we couldn't figure out what phone number was linked to my account. So by the time we got home, it's like, it should have taken us maybe 20 minutes, half an hour at the longest. It took us like 15 minutes. Patrick's like, what is going on? This is how stupid it is, right? I was like trying to save, it was 2 pounds of peaches, so I was trying to save $4. And it took us another half an hour. I grew up like with my mom clipping coupons. And I grew up like, oh, we have to go here for the best deal on stuff. And it's hard to like outgrow that kind of stuff. I wanted my $4 off my peaches. And then, of course, Kai like swung something around that we had already put in by the, he swung it around by the scanning thing, and then it rescanned it, and we were doing self-checkout. We were a hot mess. I was like, I am so sorry. Am I your problem child? They had to keep coming over to us. Oh my God. It was embarrassing. Wonder if you could put a thin piece of batting under that label, and then the confetti would go around it. That's a great idea. To like pop it up a little bit. So Lynn is saying, what if you, where did I put my block? What if you put a thin piece of batting? I think it's okay now. I kind of just like moved it around, and now look how amazing it looks. It kind of looks like it is like hand-drawn kind of stuff. And you know what? While it's stitching out, I'm going to show you how I pull out these stitches and why you might want to get a rip and grip seam remover. So let me put that over there. We can work on pulling out those stitches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slide this on my machine. And these are from July's mini quilt that I haven't finished, that I will finish. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. And in my head, I'm going to say, fluff your fabric, Jeannie, fluff it. And we will not have any oopsies. Deb from Canada told me she noticed that had flipped under, and she was like trying to telepathically send me messages that I needed to fix it. Of course, I didn't hear. Let's go to the machine. Let me tidy up this a little bit. Look at me. I haven't even haven't even used my glow in the dark thread. I need to pull that out right now so I remember. I still have my black bobbin in here, so I'm going to pull that out. Or maybe we'll need it. Let's see. Let's look. We're doing 31. We still have an hour and a half. I think we're doing great. 31 is on page... No! Did they plan that? Did they? 31 is on page 31. They had to have planned. I got to call my rep and be like, was that a coincidence? Okay, white is going to be the first thing that we're going to stitch other than the quilting. So I'm going to just switch out to my white bobbin. I can't even believe that. They did that on purpose. Don't you think? That just can't be a coincidence. They're like, oh, we have to put this one on page 31 because they can put it anywhere, right? block 31 is on page 31. Easy to remember. Don't you hate when... Yes. I send telepathic messages to Patrick all the time, and when he doesn't get it, I find that really irritating. Let's go home. Home button, embroidery. I'm really annoyed that I didn't get my telepathic message from Deb. My brain must have been turned off, my telepathic pathways. We are doing our background quilting first, and we are doing Halloween 8 6x6. Six by 6 and set. And let's add our design, and the design is 31. I need things like that. I need things like that, like moments that make me go, you need to be more careful. Like this morning. Jeannie, you need to, I actually looked at the instructions, and you know what? My mind had already decided that we were going to be piecing it on the batting and that it was going to be perfect. So even though I looked at it, my mind did not register that I was not taking you down the right path. Okay, so we have our design on top of our quilting. Let's go ahead and touch embroidery to combine that. It is bumping me. I can see my design is outside of my 5x7 hoop. It's hanging over the edges right here. So if I were to put my 5x7, it would not accept it. So I'm going to go here to my, but I have my 7x12, so it's not kicking it out. And I'm going to choose my 7x12. And now you can see all the room I have, top and bottom. That's why you want to select that hoop. I'm going to go layout, move, and I'm going to scoot it up. My hoop is on, so it will not come out of my embroidery field. Let me see, did I miss anything? A question about your spiral binding. How do you cut off the binding on the book before using? I don't. I literally like spread it open. Oh, okay, so it depends. Like quilting through the seasons, I was able to kind of pull the pages out gently, and for the front cover and the back cover, I did cut off the little spine. For these, I pull out the staples, and then I carefully cut right down the center, the center line that separates the two pages. Does that answer your question? And if you are interested in the binder that I have, maybe I'll make a little video and I'll show you how it works. You should let me know, because I look for those, and when I find them, I let people know. I don't put it out there because I don't want I bought mine on Goodwill.com, so you can look for them on there. But when I consistently look for them, and when I see them, I'll email people that are like, I want that binder, because I paid $70 for mine with shipping, and they're like $400 or $3 something on Amazon. So if you're interested in one, I'll put you on my list and I'll email you when I see it. Okay. Train of thought. I'm waiting for the fish to come back to the front of the tank. Now I'm going to go here so I can go forward and backward stitches. Let me grab my fabric. Where are you, fabric? Here you are, right next to me. Yeah, or if you don't want to get one of those, then just take your stuff to Staples and have them do it. They'll do everything. They'll cut the spine off. They'll put the holes in it for you. They'll do everything. You don't have to be bothered. So this is the fabric for 31. Isn't it cute? Let me make sure I'm showing you the right stuff. And let's go ahead and spray. First things we're going to spray are these two pieces, but you'll want to spray all of it because we're going to be using all of it. I'm going to grab my spray tent. I have shadow in there. I'll just let the shadow go ahead and stitch out. The batting placement line is the first thing that it's stitching. I'd say I see like one a month that pops up. Because think about it. I go, oh, there was some business that closed down, or somebody had this and then they just didn't know what to do with it, so they just donated it. maybe I'm overestimating. Maybe I just see a handful a year, but I see them on there, and I'll let you know. Okay, but I love my wire binder, and I love my books, and I bind everything. Now we're also going to put down our background fabric. Check the back and make sure that you don't have it like a black thread on there, because that might shadow through. And you're going to put this down and just kind of center it to the batting. Once you can feel like an even amount, it doesn't have, you could have half an inch here and like an inch and a half over here. Make sure you have at least half an inch on all sides. And we're going to skip some steps. We are going to skip our batting placement because we cut to size, our background fabric because we already placed. We're going to do our tack down. I have shadow in here. Let's see what it says on our sheet. For the quilting stitch, I have on here 31 Marmalade. I kind of like the Mango Smoothie. I feel like that's going to stand out more without standing out too much. I'm going to change mine to Mango Smoothie. I think the Marmalade matches better. Meaning it's like a closer color match. But the Marmalade, I think, will give you a little bit of pop without being too much. Did I say Mango Smoothie? Did I say Marmalade? Mango Smoothie is what I'm putting in. So I'll put a note on here. The Marmalade is what it calls for in the directions. The Mango Smoothie is what I'm going to be using. And go ahead. Whoops! I just looked at my screen. This is the tack down. Sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and do it with the Mango Smoothie. So tack down first and then quilting stitch. And you know I like contrast, but it's already in and it'll be fine. It's a little bit more contrast than the Marmalade. I went on autopilot there. I'm going to leave this in for the quilting stitch. Okay, send me a note. How are you, Lynn, do you like that? I mean, it's the only wire binder that I've had. The only thing that I wish it had is it's really made for it to go up to like 9/16 of an inch. So it's not made to do like an inch of binding. So I wish it was maybe like it could do fatter stuff. That's the only thing that if I could change on it, I would change. Other than that, I love it. I feel like it's beefy, it's strong, it does a good job. It's pretty versatile, it's pretty easy to use. You kind of have to get to know it. But I wish I could go thicker. And if you do want one, just send me a note. I have one person on my list. Send me a note and I'll put your name. Don't put it here. I'm not going to go back to the comments on this, but email me. And I'll let you know when I see it. Margaret, send me a note on that too. About how I spiral bind, and I'll show you. How much does it cost, Kimberly, to do to spiral bind? Like, do they charge you by the page? Like, how does that work? You know, the other thing I could do, because you know me, I can bring mine to the store, but I just don't want to, number one, I'm not going to spiral bind for you. And I don't want to be responsible if you have an oopsie. But if you guys are okay with that, if you're local, I'll just bring mine to the store. And you can just pay for the, you can pay for the little, whatchamacallits, the little spiral binding things. And I'll just put it in the store and you can come use it. Because I love you guys. Oh my goodness, is that so cute? So that's the Mango Smoothie. Hang on, let me add a note that I used Mango Smoothie. Used Mango All right. It'll be like, you know how you use the quilting machines at your local shop? So there'll be a little class. So you have to learn, and then you can do it on your own. So we'll do something like that. Would you guys like that? Per section, I mean. When you are stitching designs, where do you find how long each stitch out is? Oh, right here. That's how I know. So it's just the information on the top, how many stitches, how many steps, and then what your total stitch time is. And this is the stitch time with the quilting. And then it also says here, it'll give you that. But you have to, does it, see how it doesn't have all that information right here? But when you go to this button where you go forward and backward stitches, it'll show you. And I think it's also going to show you when you do layout. So if you click layout, then it'll give you the stitch time for each section. But we do this because then we can go forwards and backwards. Alrighty, onward and upward. Now it says, focus, Jeannie. Joe, if you're watching this, I'm focusing. Okay, after quilting, go to the embroidery instructions. And now we're going to load the embroidery file, which we've already done. Stitch the circle placement line. Color doesn't make a difference. Mango Smoothie is going to blend in, but I'll be able to see a circle outline. And then we're going to place the circle fabric. Let me grab my fabric. Circle is going to be this fabric right here, and then this is going to be for the 31. You should have Shape Flex on the back of both of these. I'm going to put these in my spray tag. Give them a little shot of spray. Yeah, because my thing just kind of sits here at home, right? Like, and I use it, but I don't mind sharing. I actually love sharing. I'm a sharer. You know what's really hard for me is I'm totally a pleaser. And not that Patrick isn't, or my daughter is. So Kai and I are total pleasers. The tack down color doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to use leave the Mango Smoothie in there, or you can go ahead and change it to black. So, like for instance, Violet was house sitting, and which she does a great job. If you ever need a house sitter, she's very conscientious. But I was worried about her roommate because he was going to be all alone, and I was like, oh, but he might be lonely. And she's like, it's fine, you know. So, but for me, I would have been like, oh my God, I have to plan and make sure that so-and-so is all taken care of too. Or like the dogs. I'm just like, oh my God, I have to be there every second to make sure everything's okay. She like was over there a lot. She did spend most of her time over there. But in the beginning, she was like, oh, they'll be okay. She did end up spending more time over there. And she spent all her nights and worked from home from there. We're going to trim this. So trim the fabric close to the stitch line. And I'm going to use my other snips. So I just got these Martelli snips in, and I'd lost mine, but I found them. So these are snips 2, a little beefier. So these are, I'm going to put these on the website. What I love about snips is I like pinching, where you don't have to have your fingers in the holes. You know what I'm finding? I'm finding that I can cut better with these with my right hand. Even though I'm a lefty by birth. Okay, here we go. Send you an email. Okay, so yeah, send me that. I'll add it to the short, like how to use a wire binder. $7 size and change size of pumpkin and potions book. And leave it at home. $7 doesn't seem, but so they do it for $7. So that seems pretty good to me. Okay, stitch the 31 placement line. Color does make a difference. Go ahead and put in your white. My white lives on my machine. Ooh, I'm going to use my glow in the dark. Hang on a second. It's the first time I'm using my glow in the dark. I'm doing a really bad job opening this. Okay, there we go. And we tested these and they're fantastic. We took it, I put it underneath the light for a little bit and then took it in our bathroom and I was like, ooh. Sometimes glow in the dark's a little bit thicker, but this doesn't look too thick. And if you don't want to buy a whole set, you can just get the Isacord. And then I also have, which I haven't tested out, I have the Luminary, which is the Glide glow in the dark. We have Aurora 2. That's a little thicker. I'd say go up in your needle size. Do like an 80-12 for this. All right, so this is, I guess I don't need it desperately for this one because this is going to be our placement line. And then we're going to place our white fabric. So I think this looks like coconut cream or it could be royal icing. It looks really similar to your Shape Flex side. So just make sure you're putting it down with the Shape Flex down. I'm just going to stop that. You know why? Because I know that my one is going to go over there. I'm just going to fast forward. You do not have to do every step. So now I'm going to go to the tack down, which should be orange. So did we even need that? I guess we need part of it. I got to make up for lost time for like the like little oopsie I had in the very beginning. All right, foot up. Your screen, if you're doing the tack down, should show orange. You know it's going to fit here in the, that it's going to fit in the black circle. You don't have to stitch the whole thing. It was $40, you paid $40 to wire bind? Oh, they had to print it too. Oh, that makes sense. Because usually it's like, did you hear that? Something didn't sound right. Usually it is like $1 a page for a color page. Yeah, that is a lot more. All right, I am going back to the beginning of that and I'm going to check my bobbin. Why did you not catch or why did... Oh, so I did talk to Patrick. I go, you know what? Sometimes, again, I am way overdue for my service. I should, and then I don't want to bump somebody else because Dax is doing these machines. But if you have your machine and it stitches and then it doesn't stitch and then it stitches down again, that's what I told Patrick happened to me, and he goes, your clearances are off. And this could be that there's a big lumpy lump here from the other one, and it didn't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and, we don't need that big lump. It's a little lumpy right there. But we do need this full tack down. So, yeah, that means you need service. That means your machine is saying, service me. Your clearances are off a little bit. Was that the beginning of the 3? I'm going to go minus 10 stitches. I'm trying to get to the beginning of my 3. Minus 10, minus 10, minus 10, minus 10, minus 10. Plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. I got through my whole 1. I'm going to take it plus 1 until it bounces over to my 3. There we go. And that's where I needed to start. All right, one more time. What is the gauge of the vinyl, and can you use 16? It looks like I was stitching to, oh, okay, look. If ever your thread breaks, what you're going to do is you're going to follow your thread path back, and you're going to go, oh, did something happen? And look at my thread got caught right there. Don't look at how dusty it is. Nothing. Did he get caught, or did he just... I'm going to rethread. I can see my stitch. And where did it stop? Let's go back 10. I'm watching this time. All right. So, usually, I mean, the gauge, when we sell vinyl and we put vinyl in kits, we use a 12 gauge. So, honestly, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how thick that 16 is. And does it get bigger, thicker as the gauge goes up? And I knew exactly what you meant. All right, trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Because I have that shape flex on there, I'm going to just go with these snips. Try not to cut your stitch. So 12 gauge is like my gauge of choice, but I think it's going to be different if you're doing like a bag or something like that. But for these kind of projects, I buy 12 if I'm buying. What's in your kit? Honestly, I'm not sure, but I think it's probably a 12. If I'm using my gauge guessing. My gauge guessing skills. Too bad that's not like a, you know, a carnival. You know how they have you guess stuff and then you can win prizes? I think I could do a good job guessing vinyl gauge. If it's 12 weight only. One trick pony here. This is when scan and cut would be so great. I was telling Dana and Michelle, I'm like, can you help me? There's like, I want to do scan and cut for the gingerbread. There's a gingerbread carousel and the primitive pumpkins. And I really want to cut the pieces on a scan and cut, which Michelle's going to do. I think she's going to do some primitive pumpkins. But like anything that has a lot of innies and outies, that's not straight across, like those are like the best to just have it pre-cut and ready to lay down. Michelle helped me with one project, and that was like so much fun to just have everything ready to go. There's my 3-1 glow in the dark. Okay, now it wants you to stitch the 31 decorative outline. So we just trimmed, and now we're going to stitch the decorative outline. I want to see. You want it nice and close because I don't think it's a satin stitch. So go ahead and hit start. So Celinda, you did not like the black outline. So what's that? Let me look. Are we talking about, it looks like a big, thick satin stitch, right? Yeah, wouldn't it have been nice if, I think that's a big, thick satin stitch is what I'm looking at. And it looks like it's going to take a long time. But you need it, right? You need it for the other parts to pop. But what if that was just fabric, huh? What if, there we go. Is it really thick? What if they had just taken the fabric to that edge and then done a little satin stitch and then done these on top? Should we call Kimberbell with some suggestions? Just kidding. Oh yeah, that 16 gauge. You definitely want it a little thicker if you're doing a purse. Three and the 1. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. You like it without that right here. So this stitch right here kind of makes it pop. Yeah, if you don't want to do it, you don't need to do that, right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're doing the satin outline. I see what you're saying right there. And I'm going to grab my black thread. Where's my big black roll? Is it all the way across the room? Too far to walk. So now it's going to do the outline for the 3-1. That's what Celinda was talking about. And if you guys don't like it, don't do this part. You can skip it and you can fast forward it. But you know me, I'm just like a just do as I told kind of girl. Except from Patrick. And I'm going to go ahead and just do that little stitch. It will be like a little bit of an outline stitch. And then it's going to do the satin stitch all the way around. So Gloria didn't like it either. So I want you guys to think about it, whether or not you want this stitch. Now I'm like, oh no, should I not have done it? We'll just do it like the book. And then Miss Lynn is saying, what about adding some purple to this block? Where's this 31? Yeah, because I need to start doing that. Like maybe I'll do a purple candle. Okay, now it's gonna do that big fat satin outline. Oh, there's Deb. Deb, you sending me telepathic messages today? I did that wood stitch black and black. Why did it not? Don't be confused because you see that July block on there. And I'm looking at it going, fluff it, Jeannie. This is just the undersewing, so I'm not going to worry about it. Go ahead and do your satin outline. We are on step number 6. So if you look at your instructions, we're right here on step number 6. Here's our little picture. Next will be mango smoothie and then marmalade. We could put some purple in there too. You know, I can't give up my mango smoothie. Oh, why don't we like... Which purple? Oh yeah, look at that. Is that dancing? There's my dancing. So Deb did the white stitch in black and black. So did you do black for the decorative and then black for the little, you know what I didn't even look at? Am I seeing any of my, no, I think it looks good. I don't think I'm seeing any white. But if you feel like you're seeing some white, and that white could be also the shape flex on the very back of the, sometimes like some fabric. You get a little dot of the fabric. What's the seam ripper you mentioned? Oh, yeah, let's seam rip right now. So we've got to get out these stitches. And my favorite seam ripper to use for this kind of stuff is the Rip and Grip. So I love this because they're both attached and I don't have to go look for my tweezers. And then you can like pull this stuff out. And you know how hard it can be to get out that little locking stitch right there? And sometimes I'll just take the tweezers, see? And I just pick at it and pull it up. And how much easier was that than having to like rip it. And that's gone. So we'll see what I can get with this one. And sometimes you just need to, there's like little threads sticking out and you just need to get them with a pair of tweezers and not spend so much time. So I'll just, sorry. I'm just gonna clip that down a little bit. And I like end up like hurting my little fingertips sometimes trying to get these stitches out. And I'll just grab it and like, and then you can hold the snip 'em. There, and then I just popped right out. So these, I can't live without them. I want to say, I think they're like 20 bucks and they're 10% off on the website. Then you just flip them over. You're not looking for your other tweezers. They're just connected. Oh, that's up. Oh, I didn't even have to do anything. Just grabbed it with my tweezers. And grip, and grip, and grip, and grip. This is a big basting stitch, so it's pretty easy to pull. Don't pull that other stitch out. That's the stitch that you're going to fussy cut to. And if you can like rip this out as much as you can and then cut it down low and then use your tweezers and not hurt your little fingertips by trying to pull it out. There. And I just pulled that knot out. Okay. That was your rip and stitch demo. All right, now it's calling for, it wants the, let's see, we just did the satin stitch. Now it wants the little mango smoothie. Oh, guess what? I'm going to go with the purple. I know I said I wasn't going to give up my mango smoothie, but I am. Because I want that purple to just be a little splash. So let me take out my black. Why we didn't cut, I don't know. Did you see that? It was kind of caught in there. Did you say those are... So these here are... So these aren't on the site. Graydon's going to put them up today. They're in the queue. And then, because I just ordered them. And then these are on the site, and these are the Rip and Grip. So I'm going to put the Damson in right now. Give it that little splash of purple. I just want a little. Where you're like, was there purple in that? Oh, I can't remember. I think there was. If there was, it was a little splash. Oh, you did white fabric. Got it, got it. Oh, yeah, I want to see it. Post it to the site. Yes, they're the Easy Rip and Grip. Easy Rip and Grip. And, like, they save my fingers. There was, like, anytime I'm pulling out, I grab this, and then if there's, like, a little thread and I can pull it out, or the little knot, I feel like I hurt myself trying to get, like, those little, the little locking stitch out, and it's so much easier to just use the tweezers on them. Okay, now it's calling for the very last stitch, which is, or is it the last stitch? No, it's not. We're not close to last stitch, but it's number 8, and 8 is the inner circle detail and eyelet fill. So we're doing eyelet fills, and those are going to be for the fairy lights. All right, there we go. This is going to be 5 minutes of stitching. Oh, that purple looks so good. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn knows best. Oh, you know what? And this is the last step. So I'm on step 13 of 13. We've got 4 out of 18 minutes left. You're almost done with this one. Let's get our fabric ready for the next, which I think is going to be the owl. Yeah, it needed that. Look how cute that is. What's this thing here? What size hoop are we owling? So the owl is also going to be in the 7x12. So let me go find my fabric for that. Maybe I'll clean up a little bit. What page is the owl on? Owl's page 35. Look at this mess. Look at the way I just throw my threads down. I'm heating up my iron too because I thought, hey, why don't we just press out those blocks, the 4 square blocks. So here is my fabric. I'm going to put this by my machine, and guess what? We did Ghost 1, so we can get rid of that. Owl. Okay, homework. Because we've got about 50 minutes. I think we'll finish the owl, and then I'm going to go to the store, although I'm in the mood to stitch, and I would love to just Seriously, if I didn't have to go to the store, I would just keep going. But I want you to go ahead and do section 4. So you're going to finish Real Spirit Goes to Candle 2. The other thing is maybe we'll do the embellishments too. I'll see if I can do those. And we're going to do tons of bats because I don't know if you saw Dana's, but she did lots of bats. In this case, I think more is more. So let's go ahead, because next week's going to be big because we're going to do section 5 and the borders. So homework. Homework is going to be section 4 and freestanding bats. And I will record all of that. Won't happen this weekend because I'm going away, but I think we get back earlier on Monday. So hopefully I can work on those on Monday. Next week we'll do section 5 and we'll do the borders. I mean, maybe we'll be able to get this done and I'll do the borders for homework, but we are getting this done. I'm feeling really, really good. This is not going to be a UFO, and then we'll be in time for Quilty Christmas, and I'll be sprinkling in Hello Sunshine, Quilting Through the Seasons, and mini quilts. Yes, we will. What else did I want to get? Was that it? Oh, I think we need vinyl. So we need clear vinyl for the dome. And is there anything else? Hopefully I have that because I'm like getting worried that I used my vinyl all up. Yeah, look at that. No clear vinyl for my dome, so I'm going to have to find it in my scrappy scraps. And I do have like some 12 gauge somewhere here. So I'm going to look for that. I'm going to put this back over here so you can watch the stitch out. And let me get some clear vinyl. Oh, perfect. Have a big old piece right here. You need a piece that is going to be 5.5 by 4.5, and I think that's what I have here. So I'm going to put this with my stuff. Which number? Bye, Miss Gloria. A lot of catching. Oh, Cheryl. No, don't worry. You'll be fine. That's what I tell myself so I don't panic. Jeannie, you'll be fine. Which number did I put the purple down? It was, I used purple for the little stitch, which was going to be right here. Yes, I did purple for step 7 instead of the mango smoothie, which is the lighter orange. The darker orange, the marmalade, is the one that matches a little bit more, and it just color matches. Yes, step 7. And the purple I'm using is Damson. If there is an isocord that is close to orange mango smoothie. I have so much isocord, my darling. I'm going to look at my stash right now. Let's see what we got. cute. Okay, we're going to rehoop, get started, and then I'm going to look through some of my Isacord and see if we can find a good match. So let's come on over here. Don't get sick. Michelle's much nicer than I am. I think she covers the camera when she moves it. All right, I'm going to take these off. We're going to rehoop. We're going to start the other one. I'm going to find some mango smoothie for you. We'll see you later, Miss Leslie. Oh, Miss Leslie, I heard back from my rep and they said reach out to Oliso directly. So I want you to reach out to them and let me know what you hear back. Keep me in the loop. Okay, let's see if I can get this under. We're going to cut off the other one too. We're not leaving it on. Am I like so not straight? Kai's got Miss Poppy. Can see her running around. So my dogs love Kai because he's fun brother. So this morning when I wasn't giving Poppy any attention, I went upstairs and she was just laying outside his door waiting for him. I will, can I? Oh, send me a note and I'll send it to you. Yeah, or yes, whatever you need, I will send it to you. But just send me a note. I'll probably remember, but just in case. And I can send it to you from the website. And then keep me in the loop. Keep me in the loop. Let me know what I can do to help you. What blocks have you changed? Oh my God. Lynn, it's so not planned out. And like, I think you should do your thing because yours will be 10 times more beautiful. We're going to do a challenge, I think, and it's going to be called Taking It to the Next Level. And it's going to be inspired by Lynn Geldmeyer. Okay. I don't feel like I'm flat here. Or here. Okay, now I feel good. All right, I'm going to pop this on. Before I pop it on, I'm going to cut this one off. I think you can download it from the site too, but I'll send it to you. Take that off so it doesn't get stitched down. I'm going to slide this on the machine. Here we go. We are going to be owling so hard. I think everything is over by the machine. I didn't get email. Miss Deb, send me a note and I will find the tracking and I will send it to you. Just copy, make sure you send it to me directly and it's jeannie.a1sew@gmail.com. Jeannie, Jeanne, A1sew @gmail.com. Okay, we are going to go home to clear our screen. And then, how did I get to section 4? I'm not there yet. Okay. Halloween 9. I love stitching with my ladies. Okay, so another thing that I do is I do a lot of beading, but as the business has gotten busier, and I knit too, but those are probably like the things I used to scrapbook, but I'm not scrapbooking as much. Where are we? This is what Joe is talking about, that I'm like a squirrel. Halloween 9, and we're doing 6x6. Here's my 6x6. So, let's add owl. I put all my knitting away. Because it made me too sad to look at it and not be doing it. And then we're going to add our design, which is the owl. And I put all my beads away. So I am pulling those out. And I had a bead group for a long time with a lot of different ladies. This is pre-sewing, pre-store, pre-all of that. And this is centered. Quilt first, nothing else we're going to do. Let's touch embroidery to combine. Let's touch layout and move. And we're going to scoot it all the way up to the top. Remember, it will go out of your embroidery field if your hoop is not on. And I'm surprised it didn't take me out because I didn't have my lever down, but it didn't. And I'm going to say okay. So let's get stitching. I'm going to say okay here. This is the button. Minus and plus stitches. Placement stitch first. I have my marmalade in there. I'm just going to leave it. We're going to stitch this down. And let's go ahead and you're going to spray your... I'm going to spray all of this. Don't spray your vinyl. Spray everything else. And nubby side is what you're spraying to go down. Oh, look at that. And why aren't we... I'm so sorry. Again. This will not happen again. I'm going to take it. It's going in because that is not acceptable, but I think my clearances are off. So I am going to go back. Let me make sure. My clearance, but they're slightly, I mean, they're ever so slightly off. Because if it's doing all my stitching and it's just something like that, I just need, my machine just needs a little bit of love. I'm going to go back to the beginning of this. I don't want a big knot there, so I'm going to go past that. It's good for you. If you see this, then you know, okay, that's what maybe if this is happening to you. And the service interval, I mean, we recommend if you have a combo machine, every 3 million stitches. If it's a sewing only machine, every 1 million stitches. Okay, I'm going to lay down my batting. And then I'm going to lay down my background fabric. This is, oh, look how dirty mine is. Get all of that off of there. Don't lay it down with that. Because this is light fabric, and even through the shape flex and the background, some of that might shadow through. So get it all. Center it to your background fabric. There we go. And I'm going to do the tack down, but we got to skip some steps. This is the tack down for the batting. Don't need it because we cut to size. The placement for the background we already placed, and there's my tack down for the background. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, we're catching. I'm going to tickle it. Tickle it to me is just holding it taut. And now we're going to do the quilting stitch. Quilting stitch is going to be in cashmere, and I'm going to stick with that one. I mean, cashmere is like so gorgeous. Here's the cashmere. It's such a perfect match. So go ahead and put that in. Look at your screen. Make sure that it's showing you the quilting stitch, just in case you accidentally skipped something or didn't skip something. I can. I will. Can I? Oh, so I was telling you about how I haven't beaded or knit at all. Well, okay, sewing is love number one. love number 2 is definitely going to be beading. And so I have this huge group of friends here locally, and I do have my quilting stitch up right there that I would see. We would see each other. Did we get together? I can't remember how often we were getting together. And it was kind of doing the same thing that I like do with you guys. I would pick a project, and then I would get all the beads, and then everyone would have a little kit, and then we would do the project. And it was so much fun. I got too busy with the stitch store, and I stopped doing that. So I just talked to my girlfriends because, you know, this is the year that I'm making a change, and I'm going to make some time for some other things in my life. And we're going to start beading again. I'm so excited. Make sure that fabric is fluffed in the background. Oh, does it look so cute, Miss Liz, with the purple? Oh, okay, so Miss Kathy says 0703. I forgot that I was doing that for you. Do I have 0703 in here? This is my very untidy box. 0703. Nope. I don't know if I have 0703. Ooh, that's like, it's a little bit, this is close, but pull that one out. Because that could pass too. That's more peach. Okay, 0703. I do have my isocord. I think I have my isocord thread chart. And I don't have, oh, look at, I see something on my multi-needle. I'm going to go over there and see what color that is. So Miss Kathy Bowen has an excellent eye. I think you could kind of pass. This is 103. I'm going to go check my multi-needle, see what's on there. It's so sad. I have so much thread all over my room from different projects. Where's my S-cord thread chart? Shoot, did I take it to the store? Sometimes I do that. Can't even show it to you. Okay, I'm sure it's here somewhere in my sewing room. I would look at, as per Miss Kathy's recommendation, 730 and check that. And then this one that I have right here is, and it's a little, I mean, it would totally pass. I feel like the tops can influence it too. And this is Isocord 1030. And I think that could be a fairly good match too. Okay. All right. Try that. And let's go ahead and do the, we're going to do the applique. So it wants you to go ahead and stitch the stand placement line. Color doesn't make a difference. I feel like my cashmere blends in too much, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a different color. First color that's going to make a difference is going to be the marmalade, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. What is the name of the new snips you just showed? Blue and white handles. Blue and white. Are you talking about this? Are we talking about these? Or are we talking about the new snips, which are the purple and white? The, let me find them, Miss Lynn. Where did I put those? Oh, here. These are the purple white. Those are the Martelli. And I just got them in yesterday. So I have to give them to Graydon to put in the system. But check later today. And I'll put them in with a little bit of a discount. We do pay shipping on those. So, but they're pretty fantastic. So I'm going to go in with marmalade. Let's go marmalade. Did you say eating? I thought you said eating. Oh, beading. Yes, eating and beading. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was something we did too. We had like I don't know if any of you have had like a dinner group. I had a dinner group for a while. This is the tray fill. Oh my goodness. Where are my applique fabrics? Here they are. No, it's my little beading group. I don't even know why I told you that. That was like, you didn't need that. You didn't need to know that. Is that just wasting your ear space? Okay. So you are looking for the piece of fabric that looks like this. And we're going to go ahead and put that down. Make sure you're covering it on all sides. Go ahead and do your tack down. But wait. Yes. Tack down, and then we're going to stitch close to the trim line. Check this afternoon when I get to the store. I'll have Graydon put those up. They just have a little more heft. I still love my Havels. Okay, we're going to go ahead and trim these close to the stitch line. I think these are really funny because they say cuticle on them. Cuticle scissors. So I wonder if we can just go out and find some cuticle scissors that are going to work like so well. But you can get really close with these. They seem to go through my fabric with my Shape Flex, no problemo. And I like the pinch. I like not having to slip my fingers through the eyes, through the finger holes. I like being able to just pinch. And for me, I find that I can switch back and forth between my hands because all I'm doing is pinching. Not like I don't need great skill. All right, there's the stand bottom. And now it says load the tray fill. Or stitch, sorry. Stitch the tray fill. Fluff your fabric. Make sure it's not folded under. What is that? Okay, that is totally fine. So I was like, oh my God, where is it going? So it is stitching step 3. Here's the picture. It's doing that whole line all the way across. That is correct. I was like, did I hit my hoop? After this, you're going to put in the black and you're going to stitch the inner ears fill. The inner ears for the owl. right, go ahead and change out that marmalade. You're going to be putting your black in. So do the black. I'm just leaving in my white bobbin. I think it'll be fine. This is his little inner ear. And then you're going to switch to shadow. So what we're doing right now is we just did this step right here. Now we're doing his little inner ear. And then we're going to switch to shadow. We're going to do a placement line for the owl fabric. We're going to tack it down and trim. So go ahead and you can spray that fabric too. It's funny because it didn't want shape cuts, but I think we're good. We are right on schedule. This is the placement line. It's shadow. I'm just going to do it in the black because I'm spraying my fabric in, because fabric's going to go down on top of this, and then I'll switch. Let's place this down. Let's switch our thread out. Happy Friday, Miss Cindy. Did you ever find a hanger that would work for... You know what? Let me take a picture of the one that Dana has, and she just has it clipped on. So I did not... Was I supposed to look that up for you, Miss Betty? And I didn't. I'm so sorry. Okay, it's 20 inches. So let me see, because it doesn't... I mean, Dana has one that's much smaller that's hanging it up. And this is the tack down. And but let me see if you wanted something that was totally 20 inches. The one she used on hers was just one that clipped. If you want one that's for a sleeve, would you be clipping or do you want a sleeve? Do you want it to go back through a sleeve? Trim the fabric close to the stitch line. I'm going to pull this forward a little bit. It's just one little itty bitty piece of fabric. So okay, so that is this step right here. I just trimmed. Let's flip the page. We are on page 36 now. Now it wants you to stitch the owl decorative outline, fill, and detail. So if you look here at 7, it's going to do this whole owl, his little feet around the fabric, and then we're going to put black back in for the satin stitch around the stand. So let's go ahead. I'm going to slide my hoop on and let's make sure my thread is going to catch. And if you look at your screen, it's quite a bit of stitching that you see right there, and that should all be in shadow. Oh, it looks so cute. Clip. Okay, clip gives us lots of options. Should we find something that's like kind of a multi-purpose, or do you want something holiday themed? And this is going to be 5 minutes of stitching. I wish I had another computer because I could look right now. And I'm not really seeing any white thread. I think we're fine just leaving that white bobbin in. Miss Betty, will you just send me a note? I am so sorry if I was supposed to get back to you on that. Send me a note and just say I'm looking for a clip hanger for pumpkins and potions, and I'll send you some options. And maybe I'll share them next week with other people in case somebody else wants it. This looks really good. Get your black thread next. I know, I need lots of notes. I need reminders. A multi-purpose one, okay? Yes. What would you like to know about Hello Sunshine? Are you going to ask if I'm going to finish it? Yes! And some of these questions I might answer over the weekend. But I'm like relaxed at the hotel room and I have lots of time. When I quilt the border blocks, they are smaller. Is that okay? The border blocks, are those like, are the border blocks like the filler blocks? And I say it's totally okay as long as you trim them. Like, I don't worry about my filler blocks being a little bit smaller when I go to quilt them. When I go to trim them, I just make sure that the muslin behind it. So if my little filler block, do I have any of them that are smaller? Well, let's talk about it right now because these might be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to press these. Oh! Wait, that's done. So let's come on back over here. Sorry about that. I'm going to trim the filler blocks right now for the, that we did this morning. Let me just put my black in. Oh, check and rethread. Check and rethread. Somehow my upper thread broke. And that's okay because I want you to think about it. If your thread breaks and you're doing this, we are going back and forth through this really dense stitching. And sometimes that can like fray your thread a little bit. I'm going to go back 10 stitches. Or let me go back 10 only. I went back 20. So it gets thick, you know, and it has to go through all that stitching. Same thing with going through like adhesive stabilizer. Like if your thread is going back and forth through it, it can like stick to your thread and cause it to fray. And that's okay. I can't tell if there's a lot of stitching left to do or a little bit. It's doing its speed. All right, let's come over here. because these might be a little bit smaller, not using muslin. That's okay. Are you using no-show mesh? Just as long as there's stabilizer on the back or something that's a little bit bigger that you can cut to. So these are the little blocks that we did earlier. And I'm not worried if they're a little bit smaller, not all the way to the edge. On the side where it was just right, where it was going to fit just right, I'm not worried about that. I'm going to press in both directions. Let's go ahead. We're going to come back over here. Let's just put in our black thread. The black thread is going to stitch out the stand, and it's 4 minutes of stitching. And while it's doing that, I'll press and trim these blocks. And you'll see it might not, that filler block might not go off. Poly mesh is fine too. Whatever you have, you're just going to not cut to the block. You're going to cut to the size. I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. Here's our stand. Just go ahead and let it stitch out the stand. I'm going to press and trim these. See the difference between this one that I pressed and this one that I didn't, where it's all lumpy and bumpy? You want to make sure that you press these before you trim them and that they're laying nice and flat. So that one is done. If you want to press from the front side, you can press from the front side too. And I always tell people I am too impatient to press. Like, I gotta be moving. This might not be perfectly 4.5 inches. And I'm gonna grab my ruler. Whoops. Cookie cutter. I'm gonna place it over here, or get your pop ruler. I'm just gonna use this ruler. Or you know, let me use my pop ruler. Where are you? Where did I put my pop rulers? Oh, there you are. Okay. 4x4. Actually, this might be better because then I can line it up with the lines. See the white line? The white line is my centering line. And I can lay those down and cut to that. And look, if you look over here, my fabric isn't going all the way to the edge. But I have my muslin behind it, or you have your poly mesh behind it, and then you're gonna sew to the line of the poly mesh, not to the line of your fabric. Am I pretty squared up? I'm squared up enough. Rotating mat, hold the whole thing down, don't let go until you're ready to do your next cut. Be careful because sometimes the little lump here makes your ruler move. Oops! Did you see that? I wasn't even leaning against my ruler. And one more cut. So I don't worry if it doesn't totally fit. You can see right here where it didn't go all the way to the edge, but I am going to sew to the line of my muslin. That's how I'm going to match it up, and I'll sew to that. So it doesn't worry me. I'm not even worried if it was like 1/8 of an inch. If it's more than 1/4 of an inch, then I'm worried because it needs to be able, you need to encase that in your seam allowance. Does that make sense? So, Cindy, did that answer your question? I cut the border block to what the cut size that the paper had. This is the cut size, like the cut size. Are you talking about this spreadsheet? And did I mess up this spreadsheet? Because I need to know that. Where's my Hello Sunshine spreadsheet? If I put down the wrong size, let me know. And then that way I can fix that. And if you need a piece of fabric to fix that block, let me know and I'll send it to you. Because I hate if I made a mistake. But, yeah, so this is 4.5. And I'm not even worried about, you know, that there's not fabric all the way to the edge. So let me know which one it is. Can you send me an email and I will fix that if it needs to be fixed. And if you need a little piece of fabric, I'll send it to you. All right. Okay, there we go. And now it wants you to put shadow back in. And that'll just be like yeah, send me that block that needs to be fixed. I haven't heard about that. So the sheet, remember, these are, I hope the sheets are perfect, but you know I'm always making changes because sometimes I'll realize that there is something wrong with the sheet. Here we go. I don't think she should be here. I mean, you can leave her in there. I might just kick her out. There's a gift. You want to give it back? Huh? I'm going to bring him a gift back, and then I'm going to bring him a sandwich.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You can leave her. What color does she have on? Just her regular one? Okay, there's the stand. Oh, you cut to what the book had. Shoot. I'm not sure. It should be. So what's wrong with your block? Is there too much poly mesh showing? Is it like more than 1/4 of an inch? Yes, this is so we have these on special. So if you didn't see the live feed, these are Sue Daly. It's a 10-inch cutting mat. Sometimes if I'm doing smaller blocks, something smaller is a little bit nicer. Has that nice ball bearing base. And not a ton of markings on the top. I've had this one for a little while. They're connected. So the Martelli one has a base that's separate from the top, so that you can replace it if you need to. These are connected. So what I think is, if you did need just the top, you could buy like a Martelli top. I think they sell the smaller size, and you can put it on here. So if this one wears out, gives you another option. The price point on these are fantastic. Like, I want to say this is maybe like $30 altogether, and we have them on the site, I think, for 15% off. Stitch Little Owl. Next color we're going to put in is going to be the linen. So it's going to be your cream, whatever cream you want to use. So we're going to put this down next. It says, so right now we're on step number 9, stitch the stand detail. Then we're going to stitch the tray edge detail and eye background. So there's some linen, step 10. It's going to be this one right here. Eye detail, and I think it said there's tray edge detail. Maybe like right down there, like a little contrast. We need bobbin thread to match too, so make sure you have a black bobbin for part of this. I have one. Yeah, isn't that a great price? And it's so cute. And so if you're doing something smaller with a lot of smaller pieces, it's nice to have like a small, like I'll use this sometimes when I'm paper piecing small things, or if I'm just squaring up little blocks. It's a 30 minutes stitch out. We're 22 minutes in. And that was a great question from Lynn. When I'm calling out those numbers to you, I'm looking right here. Or I'm telling you, oh, this is going to take us 6 minutes. But you're not going to see that. Ooh, sorry, I hit okay. I'll start it up again. You're not going to see that if you just have this layout. You can see it if you touch the layout and it shows you your stitch out and you can see all your times. Or if you go to your plus minus stitch button, it's going to show you there too. Sorry, let me start that up again. Oh, it does? Shoot, I don't know why. I'll fix that, Kim. We still have more in the store. So let me fix that when I get back to the store. Okay, so I have to have grade in, put on the, does my phone here work? Okay, I will have grade in, put on the little snips, the Martelli snips, and then we'll change we might be sold out of them, but we'll have more. So as long as you're okay with waiting, I'll get some more of those mats. I think I had ordered like a handful just to see what the interest was. So we'll put some more of those up. Is there a key to getting your fabric tight in the magnetic frame like you are using? I tried with poly mesh. Once you get those magnets down, if you're using the regular hoops, like the gray ones that come with the machine, I always tell people grab your fabric on the ends and pull inward, don't pull up. It'll just pop that inner hoop. You can kind of pull inward. I honestly haven't, oh yeah. Yeah, I think you can if you're doing these hoops and you want to get it a little more taut. I think you could hold down the magnet and just, oh yeah, because see, you can see that it's pulling. You could pull it a little more taut that way. Pull the magnet down, gently pull. You don't want to stretch though. You just want to get it so it'll fit in there nicely. So I think you should be, as long as your poly mesh is a little bigger, hold and just pull it until you get all the bubbles out. So it's laying nice and flat. All right, let's put in your linen or your cream, whatever you're using. Right? Because we can just go ahead and, you know where you can't pull it? Right where the magnets are. I don't think you can really pull it there. So you kind of have to get it in when you get it in the first time. And I've been like laying my magnet down and kind of sliding it over because I'll get a little bubble once in a while. I wonder if I pull hard. Oh yeah, you can pull hard right where the magnet is. Did you see I just did it right down here? I like held it and I went, boop. So you should be able to pull it. Just make sure you're not popping it out and just gently pull to the side. Pull, don't stretch. Give it a try. Next time your thing's out of the hoop, let me know. Did you say we're using, I think it's 12 gauge. I don't know because it doesn't say on it doesn't specify, but my gauging fingers tells me that it's 12 weight. And I lost my vinyl. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. When in doubt, look on the floor. So if you are using one of these, when we're done, let's practice and see if we can kind of hoop and like pull out those bubbles. I usually just try to take the magnet off and put it on again. But if we could do it while it's in the hoop and just kind of gently pull outward like this, I think we should try and do that. And let me know if that works. Next color, we're going to put black back in. So right now we are doing this step number 10, step number 11, it's going to do the eye fill. So it's going to do the little dots in the center, and then we're going to go back to, oh, that's going to be sterling. So we're going to put gray in, sterling gray, and then it'll do the like outline of the outside of the gray outside of the white. Okay, go ahead and put your black in. It's going to do the eye center. It's getting a little thick here. Oh, I love those eyes. They're kind of like little starbursts. Okay, I'm going in with the sterling. Okay, and it's doing the little gray part out of the eyes and then the little detail on the nose. There's the little detail on the nose. And then after we do this, we're going to change our thread out to black. Our bobbin thread to black, so get your black bobbin. We're going to put black in our upper two. I don't even know how to say that. Is it Cloche? I didn't even know it had a name. I think we're doing the placement for the dome top, but this is the very fancy word. You guys know, in my house we just eat off the floor, so we're not a fancy house. We didn't literally eat off like food on the floor, but we sat on the floor and like, I'll tell you this story later. So this is new for me. Is it Cloche? Am I saying that right? So we're going to do that stitch line. So get your black bobbin ready. And this is thick. If your thread breaks, if your needle breaks, that's okay. You might want to go up in a needle size, so just rethread. Okay, get your rip and grip or your precision tip tweezers, because we are going to trim threads and we're going to make sure nothing is sticking up. Or your side hoppers, whatever. Like, I'm gonna get my my hook snips. Where are my precision tip tweezers? I have 2 baskets of stuff, so now I'm like, can't find anything. All right, we are gonna go ahead and let's change out our bobbin before I forget. Black bobbin, please. Did you know, so if you have a luminaire, this bobbin cover is on your straight stitch needle plate. So when we do a class at this store, if I'm teaching, one of the first things I have people do is get your straight stitch needle plate. I want you to take that bobbin cover off of there, and I want you to get this one because I use these markings all the time. So if you don't have this on your, I think the Solaris comes with this one on the machine, but the luminaire does not. So if you have the luminaire, get your straight stitch needle plate that came with your machine, pop this one off and put this one on for your daily use. Okay? There's your little mini lesson of the day. Fluff your fabric. Don't let that 31 get stitched down, but you want to leave it on for closer hooping. And I'm going to get some of these threads. I really want my precision tip tweezers, but I'll just use these right now. And I'm going to hold that thread up. I find that I like the hook part of this to be down on the downside. And don't forget, sometimes these are going to be better at grabbing. Get your little feet under these. These are side hoppers. Okay, I want you to look through here. Make sure you're getting all of those icky threads that are sticking up. Like, look at this big one. You don't want this under your cloche. Like, what's this? How did he get in there? I want to see if it's pushing anything. That looks good. Mine looks pretty clean. My bobbin's in there. I'm going to put in my black thread. And I like to show this every time I do a sew along too. When I remove my thread, I don't pull back, but I just unthread it. And then once you get it over here, it just comes right up. You need to make sure your foot is up. If your foot's not out, you're going to be pulling. You're going to be fighting with your tension that's holding that thread in place. So, oh my goodness, my machine's dirty. All right, this is the placement line, so don't place your vinyl yet. Hopefully you know where your vinyl is. Where you at, vinyl? God, where is my vinyl? Oh, mine's right here. Dust your vinyl off. Make sure nothing's sticking to it. Do you say we are using 12 gauge? A small translucent cover for protecting or forcing. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Make sure there's no threads from this too. Here is your piece of vinyl. Can I go this direction? No, I cannot. But I'm going to go this direction. I'm going to go close because I just can't help myself. All right, place your cloche vinyl. Check again for anything under the vinyl before tacking it down. Tape in place and stitch the cloche tack down line. Remove the tape. I'm not going to tape it down. I'm just going to kind of hold it there. And I have probably about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay, once it starts stitching, it's really not going to budge. if you taped, you're going to remove your tape, and then we're going to trim as desired. So I'm going to get my curved straight scissors, if I can find them. You know what I need? I need like a stand with like little hooks that my scissors can be on. A small one. And that way they're all like, and I'm not digging through this basket of stuff, looking for my stuff. But here they are. This is what I wanted, my curved straight. And I'm going to trim as desired. Remove the tape, trim the vinyl as desired. This is a raw edge applique. I'm going to take it out off the machine, which means I need to fluff my 31. And I am going to go about 1/8 of an inch around. And if you're a little bit more than that, a little bit less than that, that's totally fine. I try to make those corners like a little rounded. Oh no, that's just the end of the fabric. It's like something's folded under. There we go. Looking good. Oh my God, so cute. Fluff your fabric. It doesn't say anything about putting a regular bobbin back in, so you're going to leave that black bobbin in. And then it wants you to stitch out the cloche detail, which I think is like the big ball on the top. So go ahead and stitch. And this is all of the vinyl I have left, but you never know when that's gonna come in handy. That to me is a usable, keepable piece. Maybe not like the skinny ends. I'm gonna cut those off. Then we're going to change the bobbin back to a neutral color, and we are done. We're done with this. So I'll put my white bobbin back in so I don't forget for the next project. Oh, cloche. So it's like not cloche, but cloche. Thank you, Miss Mary. I want to be like sophisticated. So I can go in and be like, Patrick, I just finished stitching the cloche. I'm sure he knows that. He probably used one growing up. He is so cute. Aren't these fun? These are just, oh, they're just so sweet. So here is our little owl. We are done. The cloche is done, and I love how, like, you know, it's like, it looks like a glass top. It looks incredible. And that is all I'm going to stitch right now, because I am going to go to the shop. I'm going to read all my emails and get back all to you. If not today, maybe at the airport while I'm sitting waiting to board. But we just did these 4 blocks. I'll go ahead and change this spreadsheet, add in the colors that I used for the quilting. I will make a change to this, and I'll just put my recommendation is that you piece that on your sewing machine first and then quilt it, and not do the piecing in the block. To me, that was more trouble than it was worth. And then our homework. Oh, we were supposed to do jack-o'-lanterns. That is part of section 3, but I don't have time anyways. For my homework, I will be doing these 4. And I'm also going to be doing my embellishments, because next week I really want to just do section 5 and the borders so that we can put it all together. We are doing this. We are getting it done. So thank you so much for joining me. I am sorry about the mishap, the misadventure that we went on this morning. And just reach out if you need anything. I will be getting back to you guys as much as I can about the other stuff. When we get to the store, I will have Graydon post the Martelli snips, and we will also change the Sue Dailies so that you can purchase those. Have a great day, and I'll be at the store if you need me. Bye, guys.